Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again, and today we are going to be testing out Spider-Man Miles Morales on the Steam Deck to see will it run on the Steam Deck. So let's get right into it. But really quick before we jump into the game, I do want to give a quick shout out to my man Steve over at 1UP Nerdcore on YouTube. I'll have a link to his channel in the description below. Definitely go give him a subscribe and check out his most recent video that on the Dead Space remake performance on the Steam Deck. He makes amazing videos just like I do with technology and some gameplay stuff from here and there. But we've been friends for quite a while and we're doing a collab video very soon on his channel. So if you want to see that, definitely check it out. We'll be doing a collab actually on this game on the Steam Deck. But that being said, we're going to launch into it. The nice thing about Spider-Man Miles Morales is that, and not only this one, but also the regular Marvel Spider-Man, they both are verified to work on the Steam Deck, which is awesome. So there won't be any tinkering or downloads or anything special you have to do to make this work properly on your Steam Deck. You just have to have the game in your library, install it, and you're good to go. So I did boot this up prior to recording just to verify that it did work without any issues, and I was able to set it to the settings I think work the best to get the best performance without really taking a huge hit in the visual department. Now, as you all know, with this series, I like to show some of the details above, so see how much the battery is being used, GPU is being used, CPU, and of course the FPS. I don't think I set a profile for this game. I was testing it out running at a refresh rate of 40 with a frame rate limit of 40, and this is what I prefer to play as, but of course we'll test it out with different settings as we go on. Alrighty, so now getting into the game here, I have played a little bit of the opening section of the game. I haven't gotten too far into it, just so, no spoilers if you haven't played the game or anything. But I also just wanted to show you guys some gameplay of swinging around the city and what you can get with performance with my current settings. So, jumping into the settings, this is what I recommend you should change it to get the optimal performance out of this game on the Steam Deck. Just using one of the presets for the graphics, I couldn't get it to run the way I wanted to. I was seeing some pretty extreme dips going all the way up to 60 FPS, which is great, but then from time to time it would dip below 10, and obviously that's just not gonna cut it. So what I did is I went into first the display settings here. I have it set to full screen, I have the full resolution, aspect ratio set to auto, VSync, always turn that off. Brightness, I left that alone, contrast, left that alone. Now going down here to the upscale method, I actually switch it to IGTI. There's a few different settings here. There's even an AMD version, but from my personal experience, IGTI seems to work the best. And then I set the dynamic resolution scaling to 45, and that's only because I am running this at a 40 Hertz display with 40 frames a second cap. If you want to try going for 60, I'd recommend switching it to 60, and vice versa, if you want to go for a frame rate cap of 30, switch it to 30. But for me, I'm going to leave it at 45. And that's it all for the display settings. We're going to go over to the graphics now. And again, I have this set to a custom preset. I did try this on the low setting, the medium, high, you name it. And this is the way I got to work the best. So on custom, we set our texture quality to medium, filtering to 2x, shadow quality is low, ambient occlusion I just turned completely off. Some people have said they've gotten better results with other settings, but I got the best performance with it off. Screen space reflections I left on. Obviously no ray tracing going on here. The level of detail, medium. Traffic density and crowd density are the most important in my opinion with this. Make sure they are set to very low. And even though they're on very low, as you can see, we still have plenty of traffic and the city still feels alive. It doesn't just delete everything off the streets and it feels like a barren wasteland. Very low but is the way to go though for the best performance. And then hair quality, weather particles, leave on medium. Depth of field, high is fine. And then the bloom, lens flare, chromatic aberration, everything else you can leave on. And then everything else, I don't think I changed any of the motion blur or anything like that. That's all fine. Don't worry about that at all. And a field of view, that's up to you if you want to make it wider or more shallower. But all in all, that's pretty much it what I did for the graphics settings and the display settings. That's how I have it set. And like I said before, I didn't really change anything in the Steam settings other than just setting a frame limit of 40 with a refresh rate of 40. Everything else is set to its defaults, and I do not have a scaling filter enabled. So with those settings, this is what you're going to get for performance. You can see overall the quality isn't too bad. Yes, there is a little bit of sharpness overload in certain areas. It doesn't, it doesn't look as pretty as you're going to get on a high-end gaming PC, or like on a PS5, but this is 100,000% playable on a portable screen. Now, if you are going to upscale this onto a docking station to like a 4K display, yeah, you're going to notice those imperfections a lot more than on this display, but, you know, for the most part, this is going to be the best performance and best visual quality you're going to get on the Steam Deck, at least, again, in my testing. Now, if for some reason there's been an update since this video launched, or you guys have found out a better way of getting better performance with better visuals, by all means, let me know in the comment section below. Let everybody know. Prove me wrong. Just to help out everybody in the community here, because that's what this is all about. We're all here to help each other. We're not here to prove each other wrong or to say someone sucks and someone's better at knowing what they're talking about. We're all here just to find out what games perform well enough to say, yes, they are, for sure, go out and buy it for the Steam Deck. So yeah, so this is 40 frames. Let's just for fun take off that frame cap and see essentially the frames that we get. I'm curious myself because I don't think I tested this on 60. So we're going to set this back to a 60 hertz refresh rate and no frame limit cap. And just out of curiosity, I'm going to turn that setting down to, or up to 60 instead of leaving it at 45 under the display settings for the dynamic resolution scaling. I'm going to set that to 60 and hit apply. Since we now changed it to 60, and let's see what happens here, if we get any better performance. So far, it seems okay. Actually, I think it is getting better frames than what I had it set to before. But, I mean, to be fair, if you are expecting to get 60 FPS out of this game, yeah, you're not going to get it on the Steam Deck, sadly. Even on super low settings. I set everything to the lowest it can go. Off stream, of course, off camera here. And I still only broke 60 maybe 3 times. We did break 60 for a second there, depending on where you are in the city or what you're doing. I'm sure during cutscenes you probably hit 60 as well. But when you go lower than these settings, it starts to get so grainy and pixelated that even on this display, it's hard to make out what you're doing. So that's why I would recommend leaving it at those custom settings I stated before, because at least then it still looks pretty dang good on this display, and it's going to run more than capable. So what I would recommend is if you don't want to set it to a 40 hertz display, I would set it to a 30 frame cap. So we'll leave it on 60, but we're going to put it at a 30 frame rate limit. And then I'm also going to go into the settings here and set this back down to a 30 limit for the resolution scaling. There we go. And hopefully this should give us the best performance to stay at a constant 30, which, as you guys know, 30 FPS is more than capable of playing any game out there. Is it going to look as smooth as 60? Of course not. But your eyes will adjust to it pretty quickly. And especially on a smaller display like this, I don't really notice a huge difference. I mean, it still feels very smooth. There isn't an input delay or anything on my controller either, which is really nice because I'm playing it wirelessly. But yeah, we are getting a constant smooth 30, which is awesome to see. And the game looks great. Like I said, if you're looking for those imperfections, you're going to see them. But for the most part, it still looks and runs really well. Right out of the box, by the way. Again, it's just straight out, just downloading it to the internal SSD. I have tried this on the external SD as well, and I didn't have any issues. So whether you put it on an external micro SD card or on the internal SSD, you should not have any issues running this on the Steam Deck. All right, just because I prefer having it at 40 because it does feel a little bit smoother, I'm going to resort it back to the way I had it. So with a 40 frame limit cap, and then we're going to set the settings back to 45 FPS for the dynamic scaling. Alrighty, and just for fun, let's go check out this mission and see how it runs.
Hey, Molasses, up here. Fire escape's shakier than it used to be. Careful on the way up.
Essentially, as long as it stays above 30 FPS in a cutscene, you're never going to notice any dips, which is awesome.
So, So, this is why you wanted to meet here.
Almost bailed you took so long. Give me a hand, it's stuck.
Hey! Dude, I am so filling your suit with snow. Are you still wearing your suit?
Yeah, just in case.
It's gonna be fine.
So as you can see, there is a couple dips here and there. It looks like we're getting below 40 down in the street level here in this city, or in this cutscene.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
So in this instance, I'm actually going to see, do we get better performance if I switch it back to 60?
What do you think about Rio Morales? You gonna vote? It's still hard to think of Mom as a politician. She's been a teacher my whole life.
Seems a bit better.
Similar skill sets, right? Rallying people, educating them, making sure they don't throw things at each other.
So clearly there is still dips below 30, but they're not nearly as noticeable in terms of the actual gameplay versus when you're on 40 hertz. Because when it drops below 40 on the 40 hertz display, you really notice those drops compared to on a 60 hertz. So this might be the way that you might want to keep it the entire time, just for certain scenes like this. Like, yeah, you're not going to get the 40 FPS, but at least it will be constantly smooth looking, or at least above 30 FPS looking, you know? So here we should have some combat, so we can see how the performance holds up. So surprisingly, it's actually holding up pretty well. Even at like 50 frames a second at some points.
You attacked the wrong route. I'll do it again.
Miles, we made it home. Not just driving your mom to the hospital.
What? Is she okay?
She hurt her arm when she fell. Don't worry, we're taking care of her. What about you? What's the underground doing?
This attack doesn't make sense. I thought they wanted new form, but there isn't any here. Had to figure out the Tinkerer's next move.
Okay. I'm logging into your analytics. I'll help how I can.
Good idea. And Genki, thanks for helping my mom.
Anytime, man.
So clearly the game holds up when it comes to combat, which is awesome to see. Running very smooth. I don't have any delay with my controller. Because if you guys have been around for a little while with this series, there has been many games where I've gotten some input delay with certain settings. But with these current settings that I showed at the beginning and then running at a no FPS cap at 60 hertz display, no issues whatsoever when it comes to any type of delay with the controls, which is great to see. So in the end, would I recommend getting Spider-Man Miles Morales on the Steam Deck? 100% yes. Not only is this an amazing game, I love Marvel Spider-Man. I have 100% of the original on PC and on PS4, and I've been absolutely loving Miles Morales as well. So highly recommend both games. They both run just about the same as I've seen in my testing on the Steam Deck. I have played this prior to this video on the Steam Deck without any issues, as you've been seeing here, and I've gotten to this part in the story all through the Steam Deck. So 100% yes, recommended. If you have any questions or concerns or anything I didn't go over in this video, leave a comment in the comment section below. One disclaimer I will say right before the end of the video here is, yes, I know that in this series I usually do test different settings profiles for the graphics, including low, medium, high, ultra, you name it. But again, from my personal experience, the settings that I showed you are the ones you should be using on the Steam Deck, and it just proves that it does work. I have tested on medium, high, and on low with the presets, and I get maybe 30 FPS max. It's very bad. Highly recommended not to do it that way. Just do the settings that I said and try it for yourself. But in the end, yes, the game is definitely recommended. It works just fine. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, share, support as always. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And we'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace out. Hey guys, Nick here once again, and I just wanted to pop into the very end of the video to give a special shout out to my channel members. If you don't know what a channel member is, essentially these wonderful people are using their hard-earned money to help keep the channel alive. So that's why I want to give a huge shout out to these guys, because they're amazing. And if you want to become a member yourself, you can do it as easily just by clicking on the little join button below every single one of my uploads, or just by going to my channel. There is 4 different tiers depending on how much you would like to support each month, and you can join for as little as $2 a month. And trust me, even if it's $2, it helps a ton, and it adds up at the end of the month so that I can get more games for you guys to review or make retrospective videos on, or to buy new technology such as new computer parts, or really anything to keep the channel afloat and to make more content for you guys. So with that, thank you so much to Thrasher, the Black Stallion, Vinny Severiman, Bacon, Spaceman, my wife, Way Lady, and Hull Healers Boat World. You guys are all amazing, and thank you so much for all the wonderful support. This channel is just growing and growing every single day, and I can't wait to see where this channel leads us. So with that, have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Peace.